Oh shit! You got dumb tackled by a bucket.
Everybody's had a few bevies. Everybody has a few more bevies.
So they end up with broken arms.
Me to a gas man is like sunshine to a vampire. Man should have known that.
The Zac and Jay Show.
In this episode of the Zac and Jay Show, we travel 160 miles from London to Haxey in Doncaster for a sporting event which started over 700 years ago.
The ancient game of Haxey Hood.
It's an old English custom that happens once a year when the lads from the old English village of Haxey go to meet the enemy. They're playing the Hood game to commemorate the recovery of a hood that was blown from the head of a local lady hundreds of years ago.
Throwing the hoods as English a sport as you'll ever find.
The aim of the game is
To catch and smuggle the hood to the nearest pub.
The game can last hours.
it's rough and it's tough. There was only one man for the job.
They were watching Face, I was watching Akira. 90s kid, 2000s era. 12 years old DC shoe wearer. No sangin, I just Sangera. Hungry, come like Zolt and Gira. Clowning, Michael Cera. FIFA thing, bad goal with Shearer. Mum told me.
Are you not from round here then?
No.
He isn't even from round here!
Haxey!
Right back on hold that.
You look like a coroner.
So we arrive in Haxey feeling a little bit like intruders, but someone who felt even more alien to this was Scouse George, who we managed to convince to come at 1 a.m. that morning.
What is the historical reasoning for having the Lord?
Come on, buddy.
No idea.
Get the fuck out.
to look
Get
at-
out of Haxey.
Come on, guys, you gotta know these things.
That's proper an elaborate thing. I've even
This is the history.
I haven't even looked up what this is.
Oh, right.
I just came for a few pints last night.
So we have just arrived in Haxey.
I've had the worst chicken and bacon sandwich, but it's not destroyed my hopes just yet. I'm looking forward to what will be a great day.
Just about to watch some commencement speech. What was your first thoughts of Haxey?
Incestuous.
I don't think you meant to do that. No, you're definitely not.
So without jumping into huge debate about this, all we can find online is that the blackface represents soot that used to hit the fool after being smoked out later on in the ceremony. Safe to say, we were a little confused.
Nobody really knows what connection that has with the fool and the other officials, called boggins, by the way. But then nobody really cares. They're here to enjoy themselves.
It's gonna get mental. So, by the way, and that was one of the 3 songs to sing. You're gonna sing another outside this small cafe.
With our swords and our cutlasses, and they threw soil over his head. And then John in an up round jug, and you'll make the merriest man. And to reap and to mow and to be a farmer's boy, and to be a farmer's boy.
Go on, thoughts, feelings.
So far, yeah, really good tradition. Everyone's singing along with the words. Not really too sure what's going on. It's a little bit strange, but should be a good laugh.
There's grown men crying, which I've noticed. There's some controversy surrounding this year. 3 of the 4 pubs are now closing due to flats.
Everyone's bevving. Everyone's drinking.
That's the answer. So you've come from Saigon to Liverpool
Back
to
2 weeks.
Haxey.
Came out for a few pints last night, catch up with the boys. Where we are. He's not sneaking that in anyway, is he? On dreary moor, farmer's boy.
My lords and ladies, we are gathered here today to play the ancient game of Haxey Hood. I welcome you all from near and far, and trust you all will enjoy our ancient tradition. Upon yon hill, the game will begin. Today's goals for Haxey are the butter cross at the bottom of the hill, and Westwood side the Carpenters. Now this game is 700 years old, so let's respect the game and long may it live on.
The Hood.
Well, as you can see, things are starting to warm up. So this is time for the game to begin.
So with the ancient rituals over, it was hard to not feel the energy through every fibre of your body. Hundreds of passionate people all singing in unison and not even an ambulance breaking up the song. We were in the spirit of things. And apart from that dodgy looking bloke with soot on his face, we felt good about this. So as we walked with the hundreds towards the cabbage fields where the carnage would begin, it dawned on us. Would this be the closest we ever get to the famous Leather Hood? Will Zac and Jay and Scouse George make it out alive?
Come on, fellas, let's head up yonder. There'll be people who take this bare seriously, you know. Them guys in the striped rugby polos, they're here for business, mate. They're not here to like have a few pints and mess around. They're here to get down.
I don't know.
Why are we just following the masses through a load of corn?
It's not corn.
We followed the locals, but we didn't understand the locals. So with the nerves building, we thought we'd learn a little bit more about this historic sport from the Chief Boggin and a few other of the local legends.
How long have you been involved with this?
23 years.
Right.
I served my apprenticeship as a boggin for 19 of those, and this is my 4th year as Chief Boggin.
And what would you say Haxey Hood represents for you?
Oh, it's the camaraderie of the village.
And have you got any tips for us young blood who are going, who are losing our virginity?
Just go in there, enjoy yourself, and get stuck in.
Yeah.
How long have you been involved in the mad event?
Well, I was born in January, just after the Hood, 53 years ago, so I missed that one. So I was here in my pram, and I've been here every year since.
How many times have you been in the sway?
I've been in the sway since I was 14 years old.
Are you going to be in the sway this year?
Indeed I am, yeah.
What is the maddest thing you've seen in the sway?
People who don't know what they're doing when they come in and they think they can bind on like a rugby scrum, and they put their arms out and bind on, forgetting that it's a shifting mass, so they end up with broken arms, which is quite amusing to those of us that do know what we're doing. But
the broken arm thing's the one I'm a little bit worried about. Keep your arms twisted.
Hey, I didn't know you'd brought a Scouse.
We brought two.
Everything will be getting nicked out the pocket.
Yeah.
I did go in it once.
Did you? What was it like?
It was. But there were 6 lads sat on my ankle.
What advice will you give us?
Well, there certainly aren't many virgins in there to start with, but...
Now, I'm not sure how this man knew that I was a virgin. Perhaps I'd give off that vibe. Anyway, with great insight from some of the sport's most seasoned veterans, it was time for us to create a game plan. The stakes were high, and one wrong move could result in broken bones, but one right move could help us secure the win for our chosen team. Zac, Jay and Scouse George were gunning for glory, so with the final few words from an emotional boggin, it was time to go all in on this weird tradition. Scouse George was doing some great work for the team early doors, absolutely inspiring work, but it wasn't long before the big guns had to get involved.
That was horrible. I'm getting right in there, you know.
Our first hour in the sway was chaos. Bodies were crushed, shoes were sacrificed, but that all held insignificant compared to glory.
Where is it? It's gone, lad. No, it hasn't. There it is. Yes, lad. Look at him. Fucking hell.
This is the maddest tradition I've ever seen in my life.
Well, starting off as a plan to be in the sway for 2 minutes had resulted in a 2-hour shift from us. Sometimes you just have to let stuff unfold. The Zac and Jay show is at the forefront of true, unfiltered investigative journalism, so to make sure we remain on the front line, we decided to run the world's first interviews from inside the active sway. A dangerous but necessary mission.
Zac Alsop reporting live from Haxey Hood 2019. I am joined with
Haven't Wortley.
I'm only on the edge.
Hey, how we doing, mate? Hey, have you been injured yet?
Nope.
Good lad. Yeah. Have you got any more beans in the tank?
I want what?
Yeah, good lad, good lad. Push harder.
Zac Alsop live in Haxey Hood, joined by
we're back in this way. Now we're... someone's showing us my ribs. Come on, lad. We've got you. We've got you.
Easy, Tigers. Easy now.
You're going to have to roll, mate.
I want to. All right, fella.
How we doing, lad? How did this happen? No idea.
Have you had a good day so far? Let's go, fellas. How are we doing today? Yeah? Have you got any injuries yet?
No, we're not really good.
Yeah, are you regulars here?
Yeah, regulars, mate.
Yeah.
Tactics, stay on your feet.
Stay on your feet. Love it, lads. Thank you very much.
Live from Haxey Hood. Little bit battered out here. Came out for a few pints last night. Now in the middle of a scrum for the past 2 hours. It's heavy.
Zac,
Jay, Scouse George.
we've just got done rolling round in a muddy field with the town of Haxey.
Yes, we have. It hurt a lot in places I didn't know existed.
Thought it was absolutely boss. Got a little bit too into it, but it was a belter.
We're in the way of some cars, but Haxey, you've been kind to the pub.
To the pub.
Straight to the